Nothing is as it seems. After the hacker attack that almost killed Kai and his entire team, everyone at Helltek is on edge. Worse, all evidence points to the saboteur being an employee of the company. Kai not only fears for his friend's safety, but the suspicion someone close to him might be the one responsible is disturbing. And that's just one of Kai's problems. His nightmares have worsened, and he almost suffers another heart attack in his sleep. The god in the machine is after him, and he's getting closer every day. If that wasn't bad enough, Raven, Alice's psychopathic boyfriend, has sworn to kill Kai. This doesn't stop Kai from meeting Alice in secret, and it is her who reveals to him what the god in the machine truly is. The truth is far more horrifying than Kai could ever have imagined. Kai finds himself in the center of conspiracies and intrigues that redefine everything he thought he knew about VR. Everyone has their own agenda, and it is becoming more difficult to distinguish between friend and foe. Meanwhile, the saboteur and the people they work for are preparing the final blow, and the god is lurking in the darknet, waiting to strike. Cyber Squad, Level 3. Written by A.K. Mossycat. Narrated by Jared Cadiza. Hello, and welcome back to another audiobook review. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I just want to say, I'm sorry. I just need a little bit of a break, and the holiday season, and with my birthday, my daughter's birthday, and with the upcoming Christmas season, I'm going to try to squeeze in some more of these before the end of the year. I definitely will try to do 2 more before the end of the year, but we'll see what happens. I actually don't have too many left of books that I need to review. So, any authors that listen to this is your chance if you want to reach out to me. I have one author who I have a couple books to review of his, and I have another book like this one to it's just one book, so that's why I'm doing this one, and then I'll probably do that other one, and then I'll probably go back to the one I have a couple of, so. Alright, so today I am reviewing Cyber Squad Level 3. As I said in the intro, it is written by A.K. Mossycat. Now, before I get into my deep dive review, I do want to say that I loved this book. I have loved every single one of these books that has come out. Yeah, did I have a few issues? Yes. Very itty-bitty minor gripes that I brought up in my last one. Like, I feel like the story just progresses a little too fast is probably my biggest gripe. As I said in the previous review, and that's, I think, just going to be the way it is. I want to spend more time in this world. I think the author, I'll get into the deep dive, but basically, I loved it. It was great. It was, even though I might have minor gripes with this, it was great. So, if you are a fan of sci-fi, cyberpunk, horror, basically, if you like the book, not the movie, but the book of Ready Player One, you definitely want to go check this out because this is on that level. I'm starting to like this better than Ready Player One because it's not just filled with nostalgia like Ready Player One was. Although Ready Player One was really good. Ready Player Two was okay. Not as great as one, but it was okay. And I'm really hopeful we'll get a 3 one day. But this book series, I'm starting to like it a bit more than Ready Player One, to be honest. And it definitely has a lot of Stephen King vibes. So I'm definitely want to say, go check this out. It's available on Amazon and Audible, iTunes, probably many other sites. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the review. But I warn you, do not watch this review if you have not read the book. Because from this point on, there will probably be spoilers. And I don't want to ruin this experience for you if you have not read the book. So please, 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 go check it out. With that said, let's jump in. So starting with the cover and title. Well, I'm going to obviously give this 5 stars. It's clearly on the same level that every other book in this series has been on. It's got the same title. With something like this, you cannot clearly change the title. So it has to be what it is. And it works just fine. So 5 stars, once again, for the cover and title. Now moving on to the narration. Now, first off, I was told that the narrator for the books had changed from 1 and 2 going into 3. Had I not had been told that, because I did not get a chance to re-listen to the first 2, like I really wanted to, but had I not been told, I clearly would have thought it was the same person. From what I remember, this is on the same level as the first and second book, narrator-wise. He didn't sound all that different from the previous narrator, except in one area. So before I go any deeper, I just want to say I'm giving narration 5 stars. Probably no big surprise there. But with that said, there was one aspect I kind of noticed about this narrator versus her previous narrator is, honestly, if I did not hear their narrator say their name at the beginning and again at the end, I almost thought more than a few times, that the person reading the book was David Hayter. Now, for something that's in the sci-fi genre like this, to actually have someone whose voice eerily sounds a lot like David Hayter reading the book, it's freaking awesome. For those of you who may not know, David Hayter is the guy who has voiced Solid Snake in most of the Metal Gear games. He also played the main character in the first Guyver movie, if memory serves correctly. I can't remember. Was that the first Guyver movie or the second? I'm pretty sure it's the first Guyver movie, which is another science fiction thing. But I swear, the way this guy sounded during his read just made me think of David Hayter, like, oh, so much. And so, I really hope she keeps this person. This Zachary Johnson was good, but Jared is way better. So, and I mean, honestly, he did a phenomenal job keeping a lot of the same voices that the previous guy did. So, I just want to say congratulations on finding such a great replacement, someone who did even better for you. But now we're going to move into the writing. And for the writing, sadly, as much as I have loved on this series, I'm going to have to give the writing 4 stars. Now, whoa, wait. Before everybody kills my comment section with hate comments, let me explain why I'm giving it 4 stars. So, like I said, I love this book. I love the story. And I was so torn. There was something that really got at me with this book. And I could have fitted this negative part into either story, writing, or characters. It could go for any one of them. But being that this comes to a writing decision, I ultimately decided I'll put it in the writing section because it is a story issue too, which I'll get into when I explain what it is. And it affects one of the characters. So, once again, I must say, before I go and I say any more, please, this is a major spoiler for the book. Do not turn this off right now if you have not read this book, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But here we go. The part that really got to me the most, and it's not like it ruined the book for me. I mean, maybe that's how some people might view it, is that it just ruins it. It didn't ruin it, because it is done decently well. So, at the beginning of the book, there is that setup where they reveal that there might be a traitor within the company, which we kind of know from the previous book through dialogue, where we're not told exactly who's talking, but you get that there's some kind of traitor inside the organization. And there's actually another point like that halfway through this book where you have the same thing. But there's this setup that there could be a traitor within the organization. And there's a character that leaves shortly after that. And then at the end of the book, the traitor is revealed. Not to the characters, only to us, the audience. Now, what got me is simply this. I think the author would have benefited from, if she's planning to go to the full 10 books, because this could max out at 10, because that's what he's trying to get to, is level 10 in the company. Well, we're only on book 3, and we've already dropped who this traitor is to the audience. I mean, the best way I can describe it, and this is probably one of the best ultimate things I can say about the Harry Potter series, is from book 1. you think Snape is a villain. All the way up to the 5th book. Was he? No, the 6th book, where you're almost guaranteed sure he is the villain. But even then, you still don't find out till the very last book. Now, I'm not saying she needed to wait till the last book. I just think they definitely could have started putting out, oh, might be a traitor within your group. They could have come close to sniffing around to figuring out who the traitor was, and the traitor could have done what they did, vanished, and then poof, I just feel like we're given this now, and then it's resolved now. This is one of, I know a lot of writers will tell you that you need to finish the plot lines, or most of the plot lines, and then come up with a new plot line to leave off going into the next book. But most books I've read, heck, the books I've written don't do that. They leave that mystery, they drag it out. My first 3 books do nothing but set up a bunch of questions, and then I slowly reveal those questions one after another in the final 3 books. I'm just saying, I think it could have benefited from waiting a little bit, stretching it out for a book or 2 more, where, there was no reason really to reveal that was what got me the most. Like I said, and I think this goes back to one of my previous statements, is that some of the plot moves just a little too quickly, goes a little too fast, when the author, I think, would benefit greatly from slowing down and giving us a little bit more time in the world, a little bit more explanation, time to relax too. Because, like I said, there's constantly, with this story, issue after issue after issue after issue. And I'm not talking about story issue. I'm talking about for the character. They keep having this problem, that problem, this problem. Their whole life is nothing but problems. At this point, I just feel so bad for the main character. Like, this dude can't catch a break to save his life. Everyone's saying, oh yeah, you're our lucky charm. Are you kidding? He's the unluckiest person. You guys haven't had a moment's rest. Everything bad that happens, that keeps happening to you, is because of him. But I feel like if the author gave us a little bit more breathing room than she does, then we could get to know, that's the other thing too. It would be nice to get to know the other characters just a little bit more, other than with the main character's interaction. Although for a mass majority, I do understand that this is mostly all told from this one character's point of view. But since the book isn't called Kai in Cyber Squad or anything like that, there's no reason she couldn't break away and try, putting in other things, like other conversations people are having, other things that are going on in this world that could really flesh out. And I think, too, with this whole there being a traitor thing, what could have benefited, too, is maybe have a red herring. I know that's sort of a cliche or a trope in a mystery book, but it's usually that for a reason. Because honestly, I was suspecting a completely different character, and when the reveal finally happened at the end of the book, I'm thinking, wait, what? Was it? How is that possible? Did I miss something? I was seriously thinking that because I was like, wait, there was no setup for that. There was nothing revealed, no hints delivered that would even have put me on that thought process. Of course, my mind was too busy because everything else that's been going on, I haven't had time to really sit there and think who's been acting suspicious. Or as my daughter would like to say, who's been acting sus. You know, that's the thing, if you constantly are going, yeah, you're going to forget about looking for anything. But, I pride myself. I'm very proud of myself because usually when it comes to stories, I can pick up on little things that other people don't pick up on. You know, and I've talked about that many times on this channel, but there was nothing that I could remember, nothing that I could think of that said, oh yeah, this person's probably behind it. And I've written something like this myself, and I thought my clues, there are clues, I thought my clues were vague. I mean, I have some people that, just a few people that read book 5, and they really liked how, I set it up throughout. They never suspected it was this character, but I said, I told them, I said, didn't you pick up on the clues? There was this clue, there was this clue, there was this thing I beat you over the head with. And nobody had suspected it. So, I mean, that's probably the only issue I have. And I know I'm harping on it a bunch, but I'm just making it clear. Once again, like I said, she needs to just slow down, I think, a tad. Give this guy a break. I mean, we're basically... The guy's been at the company only for a few months, maybe a year at most. And it has been probably the worst year of his life. And he's gone through so much. I mean, granted, my character does the same, but I still give my characters time to relax, time to train, time to do their job. Where a couple weeks will pass where nothing happens. Heck, in the first book, the main character is kind of set on this different path because he's not even remotely close to ready to face the final conflict. So they gotta get him ready but it's not because there's some pressure to go, you gotta go beat this bad guy. No, it's like, we gotta get you ready for Christmas. We gotta get you ready to be Santa Claus. And the bad guy just kind of comes across him. Well, I mean, he sets out to come across him, but yeah, I mean, that's just basically it. So, like I said, this could have gone for story, this could have gone for character, and this also could go for writing. I think that the reveal was just way too quick, and there wasn't any clues to really build up to who it was. Not to mention that there's something else with the character that if I ever have a discussion, maybe later down the series, once many people have read it, maybe I'll talk to the author face to face, because, it's like, there should have been a little something indicating that this person liked this person, but I digress. Moving on to story, however, I'm going to give this 5 stars. Once again, we are back with Kai. He's, discovering more about himself throughout this, not just in the real world, but about who he really is, or what he might really be, which still isn't quite clear to us, but we just know that he's special. Don't really dive too well into that. That's something that would have been nice to dive maybe a little bit more into. Other than that, that's all I can think to say. He's still being attacked by the god of the machine, and he's still saving the day. He's still a bug magnet for his job, which sometimes I wondered if it was actually, because of the game, or was this intentional by the bad guys? So yeah, now moving on to characters, and once again for characters, I'm gonna have to give this a 5. 5 stars across the board because I had no issue with the characters except what I said earlier. So there was no extras in this book this time, unfortunately. I did really enjoy the extra from the first one. There was an epilogue, but I think, that just felt more as part of the story still. So let's move on to the final score. And I'm going to have to give Cyber Squad, even though I took a point away in the writing section, I'm still going to give this a 10 out of 10. I know, but like I said, the story was just great. I loved it. And I cannot wait to hear more. I can't wait to keep reviewing this for you guys and putting this out there because this is a phenomenal story. This book hits every single thing I love about books. It hits sci-fi, fantasy, adventure. I mean, this is similar to something like I write. And it is just such a breath of fresh air to come across another writer who writes something very similar to my own work. It's not exactly the same. This is like all of my favorite movies wrapped into one book, which is kind of what I did with my own series. Although I did other things with my series. I did a lot of things with my series. A lot of it was also, hey, I want to be better than this. I want to be better than that. I wanted there to be no plot holes. I want an epic story. I may have changed ideas here and there from other material. I'm not going to say I did or didn't. You'd have to read it. But yes, I definitely love this series. I can't see this coming up with a bad book. And I'm fair. If I wasn't, I would have just gave it every single thing a 5 out of 5 and would have gave it a 10 out of 10 and said, yeah, go buy it. Don't listen to me. See for yourself. But no, I'm fair, Now, I'm curious, for those of you who have finally made it here to the end, what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Were you expecting that? Let me know down in the comments below. It has been a pleasure once again to be reviewing audiobooks, and I hope that I get to keep doing it. I get more audiobooks to review. So, and that, people keep subscribing. That's the best thing you can do to help this channel. Subscribe, watch the videos, leave a comment, even if it's just great review or I hated this review. How dare you? I filter, on our D&D episodes, I filter all the reviews. So my daughter, she won't see the reviews, especially if they're bad. I'm the only one who sees it. I got a comment on a BitChute about how dare I let my daughter watch Christine. My daughter did not know about that comment. She still doesn't know. And honestly, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? Christine is like the most lax Stephen King story there is. Even though it's written by John Carpenter, I mean, it's the pretty most relaxed Stephen King story there is. Yeah. There's hardly any blood. There's not even very many deaths. I think, like, what, 4? 5? So, but yeah, that's the best thing you could do is subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and Christmas is coming up, so I might be doing some giveaways. I am very close to 110, so, as usual, I give away free movie codes and stuff, so I hope to see you guys subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next review. Bye.